Ivanka Trump, Donald Trump's 35-year-old daughter and White House assistant advisor, is Jewish by conversion. So she married Jared Kushner, who is Jewish, and she converted to Judaism. And like with many things that do apply and many things that don't apply to the Trump children and family, Ivanka is, much like her dad, clueless. She showed up on Fox and Friends and she talked about this completely embarrassing and bizarre trip that Donald Trump made to Saudi Arabia and Israel and Vatican City to visit the Pope. And she sort of intimated that they covered the three major religions of the world during that visit, one of those being Judaism. Now, before I play the clip for you, converting to Judaism is a pretty involved process. You have to become invested in what you're doing. Orthodox Jewish rabbis, which is the flavor of Judaism that Ivanka Trump converted into based on Jared Kushner's Orthodox Jewish background. Orthodox Jewish rabbis are known to be particularly difficult when someone wants to convert, to really ensure that they really want to convert. You go through a certain amount of education on Judaism and a series of rituals. It's not a short process. It's not an easy process, and it is taken really, really seriously. So you would expect someone who has converted to Orthodox Judaism to have some basic knowledge about Judaism and the prevalence of Judaism around the world. Ivanka showed up on Fox and Friends reminiscing about her trip overseas and then said something really, really odd. Take a look at this.
Really, it's hard to, for each of these moments, it's hard to find the words to adequately describe them, and then to move on to Rome and to meet with the Pope. So to have covered the three largest world religions over the course of 4 days, it was deeply meaningful.
So again, she's referring to Trump went to Saudi Arabia, which covers Islam. Trump went to Israel, which is a Jewish country. And then he went to Italy and Belgium, which are mostly Roman Catholic. So again, to have covered the three largest world religions over the course of 4 days, it was very meaningful. What on earth is Ivanka Trump talking about? And if we put up the list here of the 10 largest religions in the world, you will notice that Christianity has 2.2 billion people. Of course, Catholicism only a fraction of that, and Roman Catholicism only a subsection of that. So there's some questions there, but okay, we'll give her that. Islam, 1.7 billion people. Hinduism, 1.1 billion. Well, Judaism must be fourth, right? Wrong. Buddhism, 488 million. Followed by folk religions, 400 million. Followed by Taoism, 173 million people. Followed by Shinto, 100 million people. It's not looking good, Pat. No. You will notice 10th on the list, Judaism, with only 15 million estimated Jews in the entire world. Here's the even better part. It doesn't even seem like Fox News knows what the hell Ivanka Trump is talking about, because they're promoting the fact that she said this. I can't believe they've not taken this tweet down. Fox News tweeted, Ivanka Trump reflects on the president's first foreign trip. To have covered the three largest world religions over 4 days was deeply meaningful. Fox News is promoting the fact that she went on and made this total fabrication about world religions.
Okay, so I'm going to defend Ivanka Trump a little bit here, not Fox and Friends.
Okay.
Because when White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer announced the trip, he said that Donald Trump would be visiting the headquarters, I guess, of the three greatest religions, or three of the greatest religions in the world. And maybe she just confused the words greatest with largest.
This is pretty thin.
Okay.
That's a pretty damn thin defense of this.
Okay.
This is actually kind of a common misconception about Judaism, and it's connected with lots of confusion about many issues related to Judaism. Jews represent under 0.2% of the world population. I have a really hard time talking about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict with people, or issues about anti-Semitism or discrimination with people who just have no idea, even ballpark, how many Jews there are. I'll often ask people who start to say strange things related to Jews, which lots of people do, by the way, what portion of the world do you believe is Jewish? And I'll get answers like 5%, 10%, even as high as 20%. If you say that 5% of the world is Jewish, you are overstating the Jewish population, not by 5%, but by 25 times, by 2,500%. If you say 10% of the world population is Jewish, you are overestimating the population by 5,000%. And for people who believe 20% of the world, who believe that 20% of the world's population is Jewish, you are overstating that by 100 times. Yeah. How can we have a real conversation if you believe there are 100 times more Jews in the world than there are? That's like wanting to talk about American poverty, and you say that's a real big issue. By the way, how many people do you think live in the United States? It's like if someone says, I believe the U.S. population is 3.2 million. Well, how are you going to really be able to assess the scope of poverty if you're so off? Or if someone says, I believe we need to talk about poverty in the context of an American population that is 32 billion. It's nonsense, and it's the same thing here.
Well, I mean, Judaism is the second largest religion in America, only behind Christianity, of course. And, you know, that gets a little bit confusing, too, because so many Jews are secular.
Yes.
So maybe she's just kind of locked into this American perspective. I think that could be another defense of Ivanka.
You're certainly digging deep there.
Okay.
And I think that you're doing an okay job at it. But
yeah.
I think that you're trying to defend the indefensible. So
I
you're
would
kind
say
of,
it was okay.
You're kind of in the role of Sean Spicer here.
Right.
Which is trying to defend things that are completely not defensible.